Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Northampton location, and today I'm very excited to share with you this recent arrival here. Today we're taking a look at a 2021 Audi SQ7. Now this Audi SQ7 is currently showing just over 26,000 original miles, and if you would like to see a high-resolution detailed photo set, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. There, of course, you're also going to find a free included Carfax report alongside a long list of technical data related to the vehicle's remaining tire and brake life, as well as individual readings from each panel using our paint depth gauge. But today I'll be taking you on a quick condition overview around both the exterior as well as the interior of the SQ7 and going over some of the more interesting features that make this such a spectacular SUV. As you can see, first thing is this gorgeous white paint scheme you find on the exterior. Not a whole lot of metallic to report, and unfortunately we don't have a ton of direct sunlight to show you, but the paint is in fantastic condition, as you would expect with a vehicle of this vintage. Now, looking really close to the panel, looking for any dings, dents, scratches, or irregularities in the way that light reflects off the panel, you're going to find absolutely nothing amiss here as we make our way past the rear door and onto the quarter panel. It all presents beautifully. Now, these wheels match the car very well. I love the two-tone scheme with that metallic gray paint on the interior of the spokes and that machine finish on the outer face. I think that plays nicely with this kind of stainless look trim that you find in various places around the exterior. The wheels, starting here in the back, as you can see, absolutely stunning condition. And you do have a 21-inch wheel fitted to the car. Now, it doesn't look like a very large wheel because this is a relatively large vehicle, but I think that 21-inch size is perfect and still allows for plenty of tire to give you that nice ride and promote some performance driving. You can see 285 rear tires. That's a lot of tire here at the back of the Audi. As I briefly mentioned, you do have that nice stainless look trim with the quattro emblem there at the rear, of course, describing Audi's famous all-wheel drive system. And here at the front, another wheel in absolutely perfect condition. You can see these Pirelli tires are in great shape, and I can personally speak to it. They go down the road very, very smoothly. You can also see hidden behind those gorgeous 21-inch wheels, you have those very large brake rotors and the massive caliper to really clamp down and slow this large vehicle. But next up, we'll make our way to the front fascia of the vehicle. You can see the headlights have some very interesting design elements in there, and absolutely no issues with the lenses. They're crystal clear, no signs of oxidation or scratching or discoloration. They look great. Looking at the grille, you do have some more of that stainless trim around the outer portion of the grille and a slightly shinier chrome Audi emblem there right in the middle. You have a couple of radar sensors flanking that Audi logo, which are going to help with all of the driver assistance features, as well as that SQ7 badging with that bright red shining as some of the only color here on the exterior of the Audi, besides that white paint scheme. Make your way next to the passenger side of the vehicle, where you will find another wheel in absolutely perfect condition, nothing wrong there, and some more massive brakes. Now again, going really close to the panel, really taking a look, trying to see any issues on that bodywork, on that reflection. You can see absolutely nothing amiss here. All the paint on this vehicle is original, and it does present gorgeous. Finally, the last wheel here at the rear, perfect condition as one would expect. Now finally, here on the exterior, we'll look at the rear of the SQ7. You can see some gorgeous styling here. I love this piece of trim that carries across all of the taillights. Really, really nice look there. You can see the LED technology utilized in the back. These taillight lenses are crystal clear, just as the headlights. See some piano black trim here on the hatch. Interesting note about not only the Q7 family of vehicles, but also the Q5, you may have noticed, you see these lower red lights. Now, a lot of vehicles might have some small reflectors, but Audi usually has some larger red portions here on the bumper. And the reasoning for that is Audi wanted to integrate the taillights onto the actual tailgate itself, but due to US regulation, you can't have a taillight on a panel which moves, as this tailgate does. So when you have that tailgate up, these taillights will go with it, and then the taillight functions will be transferred to these smaller lights below. So if you have your hazards on or your directionals on, those lights will take on that role. Just kind of an interesting touch, and if anybody was curious why it's styled like that, there's your explanation. Moving a bit lower, you do have those nice large chrome exhaust tips here, these outlets at the lower portion of that diffuser panel. You do have a silver diffuser panel flanking that tow hitch there, already outfitted, and you do have a plug for trailer lighting or functions just there as well. But next up, let's make our way to the interior, which is a fantastic place to be. One of my favorite features of any Audi S or Q or RS model are these quilted seats. I think they're phenomenal. Some of the best seats in the industry, in my opinion. I think the material is phenomenal. You can see how good shape these particular seats are in. You have that dark leather with that white quilted stitching to contrast with the colors, and you can see both seats in great condition. And looking a bit lower, the seat bottom here on the driver's seat is in nice shape as well. Let's make our way inside. Nice solid thunk when you close the door, and it suddenly falls very quiet here in the SQ7. Now, before I get too in-depth, I'm actually going to open this door back up because I'm going to fire up the vehicle, and I want to have a microphone outside the car so you can hear what I hear. Hopefully that comes through on camera. We can hope. The exhaust note is shocking on this vehicle. It has a nice aggressive bark when you start it up, and we'll check out the source of that noise in just a few moments here. But looking around the interior, first thing you'll notice, loads of carbon fiber trim, and it presents beautifully. But we'll cover that in a moment. Looking here at the dashboard, you do have a gorgeous leather wrap dash with some more of that contrasted stitching. You do have a small imperfection there just ahead of the passenger seat. Very small, but of course we want to make everything known. You have some more stitching there in the rear, closer to the windshield. Steering wheel with the perforated leather on either side and the solid leather on the top and bottom, and that nice bright red S badge in the lower portion. It feels great in the hand. This is a steering wheel used across multiple models, and it suits this one very nicely. You do have plenty of controls here on the wheel. All of them are in great shape, as well as your gear selector paddles just behind. These controls on the left operate your fully digital gauge cluster. Now, of course, I can hit the view button there on the left to open up some more information about whatever screen I'm on, and that extends to the full color navigation display. So as you can see, this view button here, one touch will blow that map up, a full color large display. Navigation is right there, as you can see. No need to take your eyes off the road. It's already in your peripheral. Really nice to see that. You can zoom and control various different GPS functions using those steering wheel controls. Very well designed by Audi. This is called their virtual cockpit for any research purposes. If you want to look that up, it's a very good system. Looking across the center of the dash, you do have your two climate control vents here and a sort of faux vent that carries across to keep the trim consistent all the way to your outer vent just there. You have this gorgeous piano black trim with that quattro in silver, and that trim carries across to the end of the dash. Again, more carbon fiber. Door cards that are appointed with some gorgeous materials, nice leather, as well as this Alcantara that carries across the center. When your arm rests against it, feels really nice. Everything you touch promotes a high quality or luxurious feel here in the SQ7. Looking a bit lower, another screen here. This is largely for your climate controls. As you can see, all of the various controls there, as well as your heated seats. It is a haptic feedback display as well, so when you touch it, you'll actually get a physical click, a vibration that almost makes it feel as if you're pushing a button. Of course, Audi put a lot of R&D into this system to make it feel tactile and luxurious, and I think they've done a great job. Of course, you have your bright red trimmed start-stop button there on the lower portion, as well as your volume knob there. You have your gear selector as well as your e-brake, cup holders, and a small port that will receive the key for the vehicle very nicely. Moving a bit further back, you do have that center console armrest as well as some storage and ports underneath. And if I go down here and grab this, it will actually raise that up a few inches for just perfect comfort. Last thing up here in the front, you can see just above my head, you have that gorgeous full panoramic roof. This front portion can be opened easily with one touch of a button. You're going to see it's going to slide with absolutely no hesitation, no issues in the mechanism, letting in tons of air. just as easily, one-touch operation. I'm going to close that thing down. And lastly, I know you'd like to see it, you can, again, with one-touch automatic, close this sunshade. That's going to mask you from the light overhead. And that operates without any problems as well. Very smooth. You can see no issues in the fabric. It's not wrinkled or folding when it's stowed away. It is in perfect shape, and it's a very quiet system as well. But next up, let's take a look at what makes this SQ7 such an interesting vehicle, and that you'll find up under the hood. So I'll meet you there in just a moment. All right, so here under the hood of the SQ7. Now, of course, if you see any flickering on these lights, that's only due to the camera's effect. Here to the human eye, they are perfectly solid, no issues whatsoever. Anyway, moving on to the fun stuff. Here we're looking at the 4-liter twin-turbo V8 that powers the SQ7. And let me tell you, from experience driving this vehicle a couple of times, this engine is an absolute powerhouse. It's phenomenal. I really can't speak highly enough. This engine's producing 500 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque. That's an astonishing figure. And despite this vehicle being relatively large, it absolutely propels this vehicle down the road like you wouldn't believe. This vehicle will do 0 to 60 in a little bit over 4 seconds. Now that's mid-20-teens supercar numbers, and you can bring the whole family along for the ride. Really, really cool opportunity to have a luxurious high-end vehicle that can also scare your passengers, because they, of course, will not suspect that this vehicle produces such crazy figures. But onto the more conditioned side of things, we'll see the engine bay looks fantastic. All of the plastics shining nice. You can see all the painted areas great as well. You can see all of the fender hardware not showing any signs of paint chipping off of them like they've been removed or manipulated. Everything's original. Very, very nice up here under the hood. You can see even the underside of the hood itself looks very nice. Idling very happily. I'll try to let you listen uninterrupted for a moment. And next up, we'll make our way to the second row of seating. However, very quickly, I'm going to drop you at the rear so you can hear the sound that that engine produces out of this family SUV. Be right back. All right, so back here at the rear of the Audi again to take a look at your second and third row of seating. Now we'll make our way into the second row firstly, where you'll find these seats are equally well appointed as the front. You still have those gorgeous materials that really promote that luxurious feel for your second row occupants. You'll find here in the center some climate controls for the third zone here at the rear. And I'll make my way inside the vehicle, sitting behind where I would comfortably drive this vehicle, and I'm about 6'4". And as you can see, despite having just been sitting up there comfortably, I fit back here without any issue. It is close, however, when I sit comfortably, I never interfere with the seat. Feels very nice. This also gives you a really nice view of that front area in the cabin. Very, very well styled by Audi. And next up, I can very easily use this switch just here, dropping the seat forward to reveal the third row of seating. I have deployed these seats already. You can see very nice shape and enough room if you have relatively short legs. You can see the headroom shouldn't be a problem either. It's very tall in the back. You do have some lights for either passenger as well. You have some basic armrest and cup holder here, but one of my favorite things in the back is actually how you're going to drop these seats down. You can see here I have this small switch panel just there, and very easily I can, with press and hold, drop down either seat, though I will pause it there because I did neglect to, oh, I guess it does it automatically. I was about to say I did neglect to drop that headrest, but Audi already thought of that clearly. And on this seat, I'm actually going to show you another interesting feature at the rear. I can easily drop this seat up and then recline it to match with the other seats, and then make your way to the cargo area. With one touch, I'm going to open up that tailgate. No issues at all. As I mentioned, when those taillights go away, it does activate these as your functioning taillights. Now here in the back, as you can see, that seat did fold down, and I have an identical switch panel just here that I can utilize to drop the seat down. And as you can see, that headrest is going to drop. That's new to me. I didn't know that. So that's another good mark for Audi. As you can see, plenty of space here in your cargo area, very, very deep load floor, and you can easily drop that second row of seats down to reveal almost double the storage space. And of course, I did remove them to reveal that third row of seating, but we do have all of the original mats for the vehicle just there, and they're in great shape with that SQ7 badging there. And as you can see, I can easily, with one touch, operate this tailgate, drops it down, and it locks into position nice and easy. So if you have any further questions related to this stunning luxury sport SUV, please reference the listing at AlphaCars.com, and there you're going to find all of the relevant contact information. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.